Ever wondered how the Old Testament prophecies connect with the book of Revelation? Well, to comprehend the intricate tapestry of Revelation, we must first delve into the world of the Old Testament prophecies. These prophecies, profound and mysterious, form a significant pillar of biblical literature. They're not just predictions of future events, but they also serve as divine messages, guiding societies through tumultuous times. Now, let's consider the relevance of these prophecies in understanding the book of Revelation. The book of Revelation, often viewed as a complex and challenging part of the New Testament, is deeply rooted in the Old Testament prophecies. It's like a puzzle, where each piece is a prophecy from the Old Testament. When these pieces are put together, they form the complete picture that the book of Revelation presents. To illustrate this connection, let's highlight a few key prophecies. Take, for instance, the vision of the four beasts in the book of Daniel. This vision, filled with symbolic creatures and dramatic events, parallels the visions in the book of Revelation. The beasts represent empires, and their actions symbolize historical events. Another key prophecy is found in the book of Zechariah, where the prophet sees a vision of a lampstand and two olive trees. This imagery appears in Revelation, where the two olive trees are identified as the two witnesses who will prophesy during the end times. One more significant prophecy is from the book of Isaiah, which describes the new heavens and the new earth. This prophecy resonates in the final chapters of Revelation, where John envisioned a new heaven and a new earth, marking the end of the current world and the beginning of a new era. These are just a few examples, but they demonstrate how the Old Testament prophecies form a foundation for the book of Revelation. They serve as keys, unlocking the deeper meanings and mysteries within Revelation. As we delve deeper, we will see how these ancient prophecies set the stage for the mysterious book of Revelation. Apocalyptic language, a key to deciphering the book of Revelation? It's an intriguing question, isn't it? But to answer it, we must first understand what we mean by apocalyptic language. This term refers to a style of prophetic writing that employs a wide array of symbols and imagery to convey its message. It's vivid, it's dramatic, and it's often cryptic, which makes it a fascinating subject of study. This language is not unique to the book of Revelation. It has its roots in the Old Testament, particularly in books like Daniel and Ezekiel. These texts use apocalyptic language to express prophecies, often concerning the end times or the judgment of nations. Now let's connect this to the book of Revelation. This book is steeped in apocalyptic language. It's a kaleidoscope of symbolic images, from the seven seals and the four horsemen to the beast and the dragon. These symbols are not random. They are deeply rooted in the Old Testament imagery. Why is this important? Because understanding this language is crucial for interpreting the book of Revelation. It forms the backbone of the narrative, providing the framework within which the prophecies are laid out. Without a grasp of this language, we risk misinterpreting these prophecies or even missing them entirely. Moreover, understanding apocalyptic language helps us see the links between the book of Revelation and the Old Testament prophecies. It creates a bridge, if you will, connecting these texts and providing a continuity of thought and theme. And it's not just about interpretation, it's about appreciation too. The richness and depth of the apocalyptic language make the book of Revelation a fascinating read. It's like a puzzle, waiting to be solved, with each symbol offering a piece of the overall picture. So, is apocalyptic language a key to deciphering the book of Revelation? Absolutely. It's a key that unlocks the door to understanding, allowing us to delve deeper into this remarkable text. Indeed, the apocalyptic language bridges the gap between the Old Testament prophecies and the book of Revelation. The book of Revelation, a prophecy or a historical narrative? Let's delve into this question as we explore the third scene of our journey. A prevailing theory suggests that the book of Revelation was penned before the destruction of the temple in 70 AD. This notion posits the text as a prophecy, a foretelling of events that were to transpire in the days of the seven churches. For those who may be unfamiliar, the seven churches referred to are those in Asia Minor, today's Turkey. These churches are Ephesus, Smyrna, Pergamum, Thyatira, Sardis, Philadelphia, and Laodicea. Each of these churches received a letter, a divine message from the Apostle John, as recorded in the book of Revelation. But why is this theory significant? Well, it challenges the traditional viewpoint that the book of Revelation is purely apocalyptic, written to warn of end times. Instead, it suggests that the book was also prophetic, predicting imminent events in the lives of the seven churches. Think of it this way. Imagine you're reading a letter written to you predicting events that will happen in your life. It's not about distant apocalyptic future. It's about your immediate future. That's how the seven churches might have perceived the book of Revelation. The letters to the seven churches were tailored to their specific circumstances and challenges. They contained warnings, commendations, and advice. For example, the church of Ephesus was commended for its perseverance, but warned about losing its first love. The church of Laodicea was rebuked for its lukewarm faith. These letters were not just historical narratives, they were prophecies. They were not just letters. They were mirrors reflecting the spiritual state of each church, revealing their strengths and weaknesses, their triumphs and trials. So, when we read the book of Revelation, we're not just reading about the end times, we're reading a prophecy of the seven churches, a prophecy that came to pass in their days. The book of Revelation thus serves as a prophecy and a mirror to the past. So let's keep this perspective as we continue our exploration of this fascinating book. How then should we approach the book of Revelation? This question often leaves many perplexed and even intimidated by the seemingly cryptic nature of its content. Yet the key to demystifying this enigma lies in a comprehensive understanding of its context, which is deeply rooted in Old Testament prophecies and apocalyptic language. Why is this context so critical, you may ask? The book of Revelation, penned by the Apostle John, is not an isolated piece of literature. It is part of a broader biblical narrative with its themes and symbols deeply entrenched in the prophecies and visions of the Old Testament. Therefore, to fully comprehend the message of Revelation, one must first delve into the ancient prophecies that precede it. Consider, for instance, the prophetic books of Daniel and Ezekiel. Many of the visions described in Revelation echo the apocalyptic imagery found in these books. The beasts, the heavenly throne scenes, the seals, the trumpets, these are not new concepts introduced by John, but rather a continuation and culmination of the prophetic tradition. By studying these Old Testament prophecies, we start to understand the language of Revelation, its symbols, and its prophetic metaphors. Similarly, a grasp of apocalyptic language is crucial. Apocalyptic literature, characterized by symbolic and metaphoric language, was a common literary genre in Jewish and early Christian writings. It was used to convey messages of hope and divine intervention during times of crisis and persecution. Understanding this genre allows us to interpret the book of Revelation not as a literal prediction of future events, but as a symbolic representation of spiritual truths. In essence, to unlock the mysteries of the book of Revelation, we must journey back to its roots in Old Testament prophecies and apocalyptic language. This isn't merely an academic exercise, but a spiritual endeavor that can deepen our faith and understanding of God's redemptive plan for humanity. A thorough study of the Old Testament prophecies and apocalyptic language indeed illuminates the complex book of Revelation. Let us revisit the journey we have taken today. We embarked on a quest to understand the book of Revelation, a quest that led us back to the roots of Scripture, to the prophecies of the Old Testament. We discovered that the book of Revelation is not an isolated text, but rather, it is deeply intertwined with these ancient prophecies. It's like a tapestry, woven with threads from Isaiah, Ezekiel, and Daniel, among others. Without recognizing these threads, we miss out on the intricate patterns and connections that bring the tapestry to life. Along this journey, we also delved into the cryptic realm of apocalyptic language. We learned that this language is not meant to confuse or obscure, but rather, it's a form of expression that uses vivid imagery and symbolism to convey profound truths. This language, though it may seem foreign to us, was familiar to the first-century readers of the book of Revelation. And so, by seeking to understand this language, we are able to better grasp the message that was being communicated to them. Next, we turned our attention to the seven churches to which the book of Revelation was addressed. We discovered that the messages to these churches were not only relevant to their specific situations, but also provided a prophetic outlook on the challenges that were to come. Finally, we explored the book of Revelation itself. We gained a new perspective on this book, seeing it not as a cryptic puzzle to be solved, but as a prophecy written prior to the destruction of the temple in 70 AD. a prophecy that was relevant to the seven churches and continues to speak to us today. With a deeper understanding of these elements, the book of Revelation begins to shed its mystery, opening up a world of profound insights and connections.